Stephen Perisic. I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi. Some of the issues and influences that I faced growing up that led me to a life of addiction were a lot built around peer pressure. And the high school I went to was really known as a party school. We drank all the time, and eventually I had a knee injury playing soccer, and that led to prescription pain medication. That paired with the partying and the drinking, and then eventually going to college and joining a fraternity. It seemed like as I graduated different levels of education, I also graduated into different levels of addiction and narcotics and things like that. Deciding to make a change and come to Heartland really came about the most recent time of coming to the end of myself. It's happened several times before, most of which I sought help from secular programs, 12-step programs, but the only time before this time was the first faith-based. And I knew God had begun a great work in my life, and I really knew that He was the answer. I just didn't have the character to live up to the call that He had on my life. So coming to the end of myself once again and only being able to look up at the cross is what made me decide to come back to Heartland. The biggest difference that I noticed during this last year in Heartland was the family of God, the church. And by that I mean just in like the natural sense, you don't get to choose who's a part of your family. You don't really get to choose that in the church, and we all are relying on the same compassion, forgiveness, mercy, and the love of God and the love of one another to be able to do something that we can't do apart from God. And knowing that we're all here to lift each other up, and we're all gonna miss the mark, that really gives somebody like me hope, somebody that hasn't been able to live up to that mark, because I'm amongst people that are in the same position. My life, and this is also includes relationships, because that's the main thing God's been really showing me. I have a lot of wonderful relationships that I have not lived up to being able to keep, and I often think about it, how blessed I am and how grateful I am to have them. When I come down to it, all of those relationships have been built on Christ, and that's really the bedrock and the foundation of those. Knowing how grateful and how blessed that I am, what it's causing me to do is to just want to be better in the relationships, to be more caring and more loving and more understanding, and to really appreciate them. That's something that I've learned here and been able to see, especially with the staff at the Men's Center, how they take up for one another and they love each other and they, are growing together. It really has just trickled down to me and my lasting relationships. What I would tell others to encourage them to be set free from addiction is that there is hope. There's been so many times that I've been staring at a wall or not willing to come home or not answering the phone because I just felt so hurt by the world and by myself and by the lies that I listened to and that never worked out. And then I come to read the Bible, and it was like I found the cure for cancer. And it was like there's hope, there is hope. And there are people that are doing this, and there are people that love you, and there are people that care about you. And you never can have done too much for God to separate Himself from you. And having that and knowing that you don't have to be perfect, it's trying that is what really will be your downfall. Knowing all of those things is what I would probably begin with to get somebody to get to the point to, make a change.